Coming to you live from an undisclosed location beneath the strawberry moon, east of Springfield. Welcome to the Dr. Kitsune, Odd Bob, Uncanny Coffee Hour,
where we're always respectful with a touch of impish irreverence. We tell stories with wit and wisdom, encouraging a strong look at indigenous perspectives.
Well, now, hello there, and a warm welcome to you all. I'm Saoirse, and I'm the one around here with a bit of, well, let's call it vocal flexibility. Being a puka, you see, means I don't just tell stories, I become a little piece of them. So if you hear me sounding like an old man one minute and a floaty, teeny, tiny fairy the next, don't you fret. That's just my way of making sure the tale hits home. It all starts with a little... That's a signal. Means I'm tuning the old vocal cords, or maybe sprouting a new set entirely, all in the service of a good story. We're glad to have your company.
Brought to you this week by Old Man Coyote's Wild and Wondrous White Sage Bundles. Guaranteed to make bad spirits skedaddle in a hot second. Got the witch on your back? How about the old hag on your chest? It's not your imagination. We believe you. Smudge with Old Man Coyote's Wild and Wondrous White Sage. You'll be right as rain before you know it. Get some today.
I had a possessed baby.
Get some.
Oh, hey, Saoirse.
Hey, yourself.
Have you seen Mitch?
I may have...
What does that mean? Are you aloof?
Why don't we just start the show? I have a certain feeling he will show up here soon enough.
Okay. This happened the other day, too, and I thought maybe he was on a secret mission.
He is on a very important assignment to annoy the Fae.
No, he's probably just skinning something somewhere.
Yeah, I know him. With his skins. So, Odd Bob,
Yes?
what are you drinking today?
I am drinking Big Sky Organic Medium Roast Coffee.
Wait. What is the milky substance in your coffee?
Oat milk.
Goat milk?
Oat milk. Extra creamy, extra thick oat milk. It's too bad Mitch isn't here because he would really appreciate that.
Wait. Is that a faint whiff of patchouli I detect? Next thing you know, you'll be braiding flowers into your beard.
What are you drinking? Really? You're going to have wine this early?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
Whoa, Mitch.
Here, let me wring out my shirt a little bit.
Are you a genie?
I think the proper term is gin.
I dream of gin.
I dream of gin sometimes.
I do dream of gin. And
So-
Or
whiskey.
maybe some Bushmills.
Are we recording?
We are recording.
Damn.
Where'd you come from?
Well, I don't really know. I was, I can't drink anymore, so...
We were recording an episode.
What's that?
We're
Oh, you were in the middle of
The recording
You
of
were in
the
the middle of
podcast.
something. What were you in the middle of?
Well, we need Mitch here.
We're recording the new episode.
This is
I am here.
yeah. Like we can't just do this, just the two of us.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Well, Saoirse, what are you drinking then?
Yeah. What are you drinking?
This, my Brobding, Nagy and ball-sacked friend, is Chateau Picard 1969 Bordeaux Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
Really?
makes sense now.
Picard?
Yeah, make it so.
So anyway, there I was.
There you were.
And there was a beautiful bottle of Bordeaux.
Do you mean this bottle?
Yeah, that bottle of Bordeaux. Anyway, this beautiful bottle of Bordeaux. And I love Bordeaux wine. I love Cabernet. But I can't drink right now. So I just thought I'd smell it. And I stuck my nose into the bottle, and next thing you know, I'm floating on a piece of cork in the middle of a sea of wine. And then it got dark.
Wine all around and not a drop to drink.
Well, then it got all dark and it got all sloshy. There was a storm in there.
Oh, you got sloshed.
And then I find myself here. I think she did something
Me?
to me.
I would never.
What are you laughing about?
Well, yeah, that's what they all say. Anyway, so What are you drinking, Bob?
Oh, well, I was just telling Saoirse
Oi! That's this beauty over here, Mitch.
that I'm having Big Sky Organic Medium Roast coffee with some oat milk.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Oat!
What was that?
Oat! It's
No.
oat milk.
Say it isn't so.
Yes, not hemp, not this time. Oat, extra rich, extra creamy, extra thick. How does that make you feel?
I feel, you know that oat milk has
Yes.
less hormones in it than hemp milk?
Huh. Who knew?
Okay.
I was just saying, in case you're worried about gynomastia or anything like that.
Mad titties.
No, that's just happening naturally with my weight gain from old age. All us Masons have that anyway.
Don't forget the big balls.
All right. Anyway, so I am drinking genmaicha. So toasted rice with matcha and green tea.
Let me take a look at that. It looks like you just threw some Rice Krispies into some dirty water.
It's a little bit more than Rice Krispies, but yeah, all right. It's very tasty.
I prefer not chewy.
And you can eat it.
And it's organic.
Yeah.
It is a little chewy.
Yeah.
I do go for the farmer style. I don't use tea bags. I don't prefer I'm getting tea bags. I like just throwing the tea directly in the water.
Yeah. Yeah. We always called that cowboy coffee when we did with coffee when I was growing up.
And you just spit out the grounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry about spitting on your floor.
Whatever.
So anyway, I've been in this bottle of wine, I think, for about a week now.
9 days.
What's been going on?
Yeah, I haven't seen you. I just figured you were on a secret mission.
She shoved me in a bottle of wine, I think. And
Shoved you nothing. You, sir, were the one who shoved your snout into that bottle.
I shoved myself in the bottle of wine. That's a likely story. Anyhow, don't put your nose in things you don't want to disappear into.
Ooh, that might be hard. Okay.
So what are we talking about today?
So, I like to do art. I like to paint.
Yeah.
I like to draw. I like to sculpt.
Yeah, we made those death cards once. We sat down for like weeks, and
that was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was a long time.
Yeah. But it's hard for me to do art anymore without my muse.
Your muse.
I thought I was your muse. Oh, wait. No, that's right. I'm your drinking buddy.
Yeah, my muse is kind of leaves, depending on how stressed out I am or what else might be going on. Or sometimes you get interrupted after the muse is already there with you.
Yeah.
Artus interruptus.
And so
And she'll leave. She doesn't. She's kind of jealous. You got to give all your attention to the muse, or else the muse will leave.
apparently.
Oh, no.
Yeah. What?
No, that's something a bit different. That's the Lianhan Shee.
What's that, Saoirse?
I've heard about Lianhan Shee.
Yes.
What?
The Lianhan Shee.
Banshee?
Lianhan Shee. The
Lianhan
Shee.
Shee.
Yes, that's what I tried to say.
Lianhan Shee?
Lianhan Shee.
Lianhan Shee.
Oh, no.
Anyway, would you like to start us off with a story?
Right now.
Yes, ma'am, please.
But I just poured a glass of wine.
I hope you enjoy your wine. I peed in that,
I've done worse while you were sleeping, my friend. The Canvas of Corvus O'Malley. In a secluded cottage by the wild, churning coast of County Donegal lived Corvus O'Malley. Corvus was a painter of immense talent, though his works, while technically brilliant, often felt empty. His landscapes were accurate, his portraits precise, but they lacked the raw emotion, the vibrant life that truly great art possessed. He longed for his canvases to breathe, to truly feel. He spent his days wandering the rugged cliffs and windswept beaches, seeking inspiration, often with a sketchbook in hand. One tempestuous evening, as the Atlantic roared against the rocks, Corvus found himself sheltering in a small ancient cave. The storm raged outside, but within, a strange, luminous glow began to emanate from the deepest part of the cavern. Curiosity overcoming his caution, Corvus cautiously stepped further in. There, illuminated by an otherworldly luminescence. Who wrote this? Do better! Sorry, back to the story. Sat a woman. Her hair was the color of sea foam on a dark tide, her eyes shimmered like captured starlight, and her skin was as pale as the pearl inside an oyster. She was draped in seaweed that seemed to cling to her like silk, and around her the very air hummed with an almost painful beauty. You seek beauty, Corvus O'Malley. Her voice, a whisper like waves on sand, echoed in the cave. And I see a canvas longing to be filled with true life. Corvus, mesmerized, could not move.
Who are you?
I am the Lianhan Shee of these shores. I offer vision to those who yearn for it. I can show you colors you have never seen, light you have never witnessed, and emotions so profound your brush will weep them onto the canvas. Corvus's artist's heart throbbed. This was it. This was the missing piece, the spark he had always craved.
What is your price, spirit?
Only your devotion, she said, her eyes piercing him, demanding. Your complete, unwavering love for me. For as long as your brief life allows, you shall paint only what I inspire, and your soul shall be mine. Desperate for the divine insight, for the genius that would elevate his art beyond mortal understanding, Corvus agreed. He took her spectral hand, and a chill, like being plunged into the depths of the ocean, enveloped him. From that day forward, Corvus's art transformed. He painted with a feverish intensity, guided by the Lianhan Shee who would appear in his studio, a shimmering presence visible only to him. His canvases exploded with colors that seemed to glow from within, capturing the raw power of the ocean, the ethereal beauty of the moon, and the haunting spirits of the land with an unprecedented vibrancy. But Corvus himself began to wither. His hands, once strong and steady, trembled incessantly. His face grew gaunt, his eyes hollowed and perpetually wide, as if constantly seeing beyond the veil. He ate little, slept less, driven by the ceaseless demands of his muse. Each stroke of genius on the canvas seemed to siphon away a piece of his own life. The vibrant colors on his art seemed to be stolen from his own flesh. His only peace came in the moments when the Lianhan Shee was present, guiding his hand, her ethereal touch both inspiring and draining. He was consumed by her, a vessel for her otherworldly vision. One morning, the villagers found his cottage door ajar. Inside, on the easel, was his final masterpiece, a self-portrait. It was astonishing, capturing the profound genius in his eyes, but also the terrible toll. A face gaunt, spectral, barely human, yet radiating an unearthly glow. The brush had fallen from his hand, and Corvus lay beside it, lifeless. The canvas shimmered for a moment, and then the vibrant colors of the portrait seemed to subtly fade, just a touch, as if the energy that once animated it had, like Corvus's own life, returned to its source. And though his body was cold, the essence of his art, born of the Lianhan Shee's touch, lingered. And sometimes, on stormy nights along the Donegal coast, if you listen closely to the wailing wind, you might hear a faint, sorrowful whisper, like a lost brushstroke, and perhaps the echo of an unearthly inspiration seeking its next canvas.
Wow, not like a banshee at all.
No. That was a pretty good story, though. I like that.
It was great.
You know,
yeah, thanks, Saoirse.
Ah, nay bother.
I would have been devoted to her for life.
Oh, you will be.
Yeah. You know, all I want to do is sit around in the sun, make art,
And farts.
maybe have a little sake.
That sounds
Laugh.
good. You know,
Or a lot of sake.
yeah, I'm thinking if we get enough followers on this podcast, maybe eventually we can
can do that.
actually be the artists that we truly are.
Yeah. I mean, it's how ironic that we are here to make art, but we haven't been able to really make art.
No, I mean, one of the things that I got paid for, and I'm an artist at hole punching.
Yeah.
I punch holes in paper
And
at various distances, and
maybe people sometimes.
I'm very good at punching holes in paper and making beautiful art there.
Yes.
And I did get paid for that for a while, but I would like to express myself in a different medium.
Like, I think that my example is always go back to architecture, right? Like, if you look at architecture throughout the years, there was a lot more put on the aesthetics of architecture in the past than there is now. Now I feel like there's a lot of it's just a box.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like Quoutley. He went into architecture because it was something that he could be creative with.
Yeah.
Quoutley, my brother Quoutley, by the way, for all the listeners out there. And I was supposed to do a shout out also to Cuauhtemoc, who is taking off for the Galapagos Islands.
Galapagos Island.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait,
yes, Saoirse.
Let's
the
do it.
Galapagos.
Let's make this an official segment, because I think that we have enough friends and enough things going on in our
Shout out,
lives that we should have a
Roger!
shout out section.
Yeah.
Uncanny Coffee shout-outs.
What's
Right.
Shout out, Roger.
Saoirse, you wanted to shout out to Roger?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to this handsome chunko man meat you
He's-
showed me.
Yes, he's a good looking bloke.
Good looking bloke.
Anyhow, if I had a Lianhan
Shee.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Wait, I have
A
my
she.
shout out. I gotta do a
what's your
shout out.
out?
I'm going to give a shout out to my brother Mike, who is in Virginia, and he is going to Gettysburg, not to listen for ghosts,
Yeah, like a normal person.
but he's going to go to Gettysburg and camp there to watch a baseball game.
Ah,
Right?
if you build it, they will come.
It's just weird. I don't know what's going on. You're weird, Mike. Love you, bro.
So I don't know if you know, I've been working on 5 novels, not reading them. I have written the first 100 pages to 5 different novels.
That's how I read books. Actually, I could catch up on all of your novels because I would never go that far past.
Well, I was thinking if I had a
Lianhan Shee.
yes, one of those,
Yeah, idiots.
I would be able to finish these novels and maybe sell them,
Yeah.
which could generate the money, which I would share with all of my friends to actually create art, which I think would be novels.
We should make like a artist commune,
You are a hippie.
like a big
A naked commune.
open area where we invite artists.
No, Saoirse, not a naked commune, not one of those.
Well,
you could be naked if you want. but
Your section can be naked.
Everyone loves boobies.
Trust me, you don't want me in that section.
I was up at Oddball Tattoo up in Portland.
Oh yeah, I know
not
that
so
place.
long ago. It was Jason Leesky's my tattoo artist, and he the artist tattoo.
does some
I feel funny
fine-
saying my tattoo artist.
He
but
does
he's
some fine work. No,
Yes.
that's it. He's an artist.
Sailor
He's a
Jerry would
tattoo
call it
artist.
art.
So I was up there and I was commenting about my 6-pack, and there's another artist there, and she says, "Hey, I'd take the whole keg over the 6-pack any day."
Yeah.
A gas bloated keg.
So I don't feel ashamed. I don't body shame myself anymore. I've got a keg, not a 6-pack.
Yeah, man, I don't know what I got. I heard once that if you're proud of something, you build a shelter over it. I think I'm just building a shelter over the things I'm most proud of.
So if you have any she friends that would help us out, Saoirse,
Oh, I think you two are beyond help.
okay, fine. Later.
All right, well, I guess we'll just have to get by with, what we have, our raw talent, perseverance.
There's that talent.
Perseverance. Well, This is episode 10. We're 1/4 of the way to being one of the top podcasts in the world.
Yeah, wherever we read that. Good job, whoever wrote that. We're inspired.
Well, eventually, just by perseverance, after so many episodes, we're going to have that many listeners.
Yeah.
And
People just don't know about us yet.
Spasibo to our 10 listeners in Russia. And we appreciate it. You know, tell your friends and push the show on them. Tell them that there's some really funny and adorable characters on this show.
I am so freaking adorable, it's uncanny.
Anyhow, so
share this far and wide. And hey, you know what? I was just thinking this. Go on to your favorite podcast platform, give us a rating, and anybody that gives us a positive rating, we can start choosing from one of those and reading it on the air.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
5 stars.
At least 4.
No, I mean, I actually saw us on Audible and we got our first review for our last episode.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Or as my wife likes when I say, noise.
So what if I heard you did something while I was gone?
Yes. I had my friend Erica came over.
Oh.
I've known Erica for years. She's a lovely person.
Very cool.
She had a couple of experiences to share with us. You know what? It's easier if I just play the interview for you.
Sounds good. I'd like to hear it.
All right. Here goes.
Let's go then.
Hanging out in the summertime. I don't know where Mitch is.
He's probably on a secret mission. A secret mission.
Off on a mission somewhere.
Yeah, I think I just said that.
He'll have to recount us later what he's doing. We've got some nice sour beer. Passion fruit. I'm sitting here with my friend Erica. And is that okay? You want your real name used? Okay.
Yeah, Erica's fine.
Okay. I guess it's too late now. I can edit it. I could edit it, but no, that's right. Tummies are full. We got beer flowing. And Erica was nice enough to come over and talk to me about a couple of stories that she had that go in line with this episode that we're making.
Yeah, well, an uncanny story is an uncanny story. Am I right? Now, give me a sip of that beer.
You guys get along?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do get along. Basically, old pals, don't you know?
We talk a lot about different, like, ghost stories and yokai and folklore. And so what do you got?
I've had encounters kind of throughout my life, off and on.
Like now, you mean?
And it all started back in Veneta.
Small town.
When we first moved out there. It was in 1980. And moved to a 5.5 acre property. And it was like super wild and overgrown when we first moved out there. And we started kind of walking around exploring through the woods, and we kept just finding weird stuff. Like there was like an old
wild, overgrown, and you're finding weird stuff.
Yeah. So we found like this old.
It's like what Mitch's tattoo artist was describing to me.
Yeah, so we found this like old like sweat lodge kind of thing. And then there were all these like strange symbols drawn on the ground
That was me.
that we didn't know what they were.
Like what? Like pentagrams or like smiley faces? Or
like just weird, almost
ritualistic looking things?
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of like witchy looking a little bit, and or maybe like old language.
Winchester boys probably made them.
Right.
You know, or a different language.
Nordic or something
like
almost.
like some kind of like magic. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
And
Expecting some guy with like a goat mask to come around the corner or something.
Easy for you to say.
Have you ever seen, there's a video, I cannot stand it. It skeeves me out. Sorry to interrupt your story.
No, it's fine.
But if you look into a goat's eyes, like I can't stand that. None of that, none of the snuggle bear.
Yeah.
What, is that what it was? Snuggle? You remember that? There's a commercial with that one bear.
Oh yeah, the
Snuggles.
snuggle bear.
Snuggles, yeah.
Grown tan, man, afraid of a stuffed demonic bear.
It was like, use this in your dryer. And Snuggles is like, or I'll stab you.
Right. Yeah, he's kind of like got that Chucky vibe.
Yes. Oh, sorry, I interrupted
That's
you.
okay. So the creepy stuff in the woods, and there was a pet cemetery.
Oh, wow.
So there were like hand carved wood,
Tombstones?
like
Yeah.
tombstones
Yeah.
with dog names. We found out, I think, from the neighbors later
You
on
think.
that they had raised.
You think they're dog names.
Yeah, yeah. But it was all overgrown, and like only one of the things was still standing. They were kind of all fallen down or whatever.
Yeah.
And later on, when I was in my early like preteen years, when Pet Sematary, the book by Stephen King, came out, and I read it and was like, holy shit! Like, I was so scared. Anyway,
Sometimes dead is better.
yes. So there was all of that, and I just, it's hard for me to tell exactly when I started to feel things or see things. I had a really overreactive imagination as a kid. Mm-hmm. And I read a lot of scary books. I watched a lot of scary movies. And I remember being really, really sick the first winter we lived in that house, and like sick with the flu to where you're losing all your fluids.
Right.
And you're just delirious with fever. Mm-hmm. And I kept having the like shadowy figures around the bed kind of hallucinations.
Ooh. Right. Now we're talking.
And then I just remember a lot of weird things, like things not being where you put them, things moving around, posters falling off the wall, just strange vibes all around, and could never really fully explain.
Right. After you got sick?
Yeah.
That's when it really ramped up?
Yeah.
When the life force flickers, sometimes it opens a door to what's always been there, just out of reach. So close to slipping through yourself that the world beyond becomes a little less opaque.
And then...
Yeah?
that seemed to kind of go away, I guess. But then later on, I was at a friend's house.
Okay.
She's actually a mutual friend.
Okay.
Who we grew up with. And in her living room, they had this big sectional sofa that went like all the way around. And they back behind.
It was the 80s.
Yeah. And they had like the open kitchen floor plan, where everything's all open and it opens into the living room area.
Where did I put my leg warmers?
And so I'm sitting on one side of the sectional that's facing away from her kitchen. And they had mirrored tiles on the wall.
Ooh,
mirrors.
Fancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like reading a book or a magazine, sitting on the sofa, and I had been talking to her because she was in the room with me, and I thought she went into the kitchen. So I like look up into the mirror, and I see her reflection in the mirror, and she's just staring at me. And I'm asking her, what's up? What's going on? And her face just looked weird. It was her, but it was strange, like askew, I guess.
Oh dear.
But I'm looking at the reflection,
mirror.
and I'm looking at the reflection. So I'm like, and I just keep asking her. I'm like, what's wrong? Why are you talking to me? And so finally, I turn around, and there's nobody there. And I yell out, where are you?
Right.
And she calls me from her bedroom down the hall.
I'm in my room.
And I'm like, were you in the kitchen? And she's like, no. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck just happened? And so we both were so freaked out. Like we slept with the lights on that night, and like it was really strange.
Yeah.
And so years later, I was listening to Art Bell.
Okay.
The Coast to Coast AM.
Yep.
Late at night.
Right. Art Bell is awesome.
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm like just about to fall asleep, and his guest that night was this Native American guy who was talking about all the different types of spirits they believed in his particular tribe.
Yeah.
And he starts describing this one spirit that is like a doppelgänger.
Or another kind of shapeshifter.
And that will find people that are weakened in like a weakened state and will assume their form. like shapeshifter kind of.
Of course, I would never do something like that.
Yeah.
And so I like sat up in bed wide awake. I'm like, holy shit, I think that's what I saw
Right.
that time.
Right. Assume they're forming, then what?
Well, party, of course.
Party. And then
Go drain their bank account.
yeah. do evil and blame it on them.
It was early identity theft.
Exactly. So yeah, so I wound up getting a hold of her and telling her about it, and she, I told her about the weakened state thing, and she said, well, yeah, I was going through like hell then, like she was struggling with like a lot of mental health issues and stuff, and so
That'll definitely attract the shadow people.
yeah, so we
Yeah.
both were like, okay, wow, we know
Yep.
what the heck that was.
Yeah.
That
Super creepy.
Yeah, that was one of the weirdest things, and then.
Oh, good. There's more.
Fast forward to the 1990s.
Okay.
In 1995, I was married and moved into this old 1916 farmhouse that me and my husband ended up buying from my uncle. And it had super creepy vibes. You could just feel that a lot had gone on there, and nothing had ever really been fully remodeled or anything. It had just like slapped coats of paint on over the years, and so it was
Right.
pretty
I love those old farmhouses.
pretty
where it's
rundown.
Like,
Yeah.
You start looking at it, and it's just layers on layers of things. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the first place I started to feel weird was in the basement. It's a big surprise, right? Like, so yeah, creepy basement. I'd be down there doing laundry, and I would just feel like someone was watching me the whole time. And you get that like hairs on the back of your neck standing up.
Right.
And I kind of had an agreement with whatever it was. I'd be like, hey, I know you're here. Leave me
Right.
alone.
Right. Yeah, that's what you have to do
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. And so nothing really happened until we started remodeling. And, we were poor, and so we had to do everything ourselves.
You were remodeling their house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we start making all these changes, and we started with the upstairs. So we moved our bedroom and like all of our office, our desks and everything downstairs. In the living room next to the fireplace, kind of like, I guess it was more like kind of like a dining area between the kitchen and the living room. And my husband's desk and my desk were both there. And there was one night when he was home alone, and he said he had his headphones on, he was listening to music and like working on the computer or something. And he said he sensed something out of the corner of his eye. It was moving around. And he looked, and there was a little pebble that had fallen that he thought, oh, it fell out of the fireplace or something. But then it started to like scoot really slowly across the floor, like someone was moving it.
Towards him?
Towards him. And it stopped like by his feet. And he was not a believer in ghosts or anything. So when he told me this, of course, I believe him. And so he said he like picked it up and moved it back over, and then it did it again and came towards him again. And then he was like, oh my God, get me the fuck out of here. Like, and so he just like went and hid in the other room until I got home, and he told me what happened. So that was pretty weird. It was weird to me that I could sense stuff and wasn't really seeing it, but he's the one who didn't believe, but he like saw and heard things.
It's almost like they were trying to let him know, like, hey,
it's like
we're here.
The dog always knows the not dog person.
Yeah,
and goes
exactly.
towards them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then later,
Why don't you think they do bigger things?
Takes energy, genius.
Like they move a pebble, but you think it's just because it's really hard?
Yes.
maybe
Like because it's way more impressive if they were like,
knocking shit
just,
over.
yeah, exactly,
Like,
or
yeah,
like-
I don't know. We'll
once
get
heard-
to that though.
Okay, I once heard of a ghost that would do this lady's dishes, and I'm like, I need
I forgot to pre-soak this pan.
So the other thing that happened to him was, he woke me up frantically one morning, and he was like, something just talked to me. He said he was just starting to wake up. He was in that sort of like still half asleep state. And he heard a little boy say, "Hey, Dad, did you get the pictures back yet?" And he was like, "What?" And he like sat up in bed and said, "Where are you?" And he said, the same voice was like stereo in his head, said, "I'm right behind you."
Whoa.
Yeah.
Crochet fetusurum.
Every time I tell that one, I get full body goosebumps because, and he was just terrified after that.
That's
He was
super
like,
creepy.
"What the fuck?" No. No.
Wait. You mean he was completely nude?
No.
Yep.
What? Then what happened?
So basically, things just kept happening, and it was pretty much every time we would open a wall, because what we did, we wound up like tearing out all the walls, and because it was just old lath and plaster that was falling apart.
That's what they teach you to do on all those DIY shows, too.
Yeah, and so
It's like, what are you going to do first? Well, I think I'm going to come in here and we're going to open this wall up. We're just going to, we're going to make it all just an open space. Maybe put some shiplap up on the top. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, we went more classic, and we restored it. Like, we took down all the wood and like stripped it down. It was like quarter sawn oak. It was beautiful. Yeah. Anyway, long story short, we open up the walls and something comes out almost every time we're opening up walls. Like, we see things, hear things, and like one night, all of a sudden the stereo downstairs came on full blast. And I went running downstairs. So there was the stairs to the upstairs, and then we had the stairs to the basement, which were in the kitchen, in like the back of the kitchen. So I like run downstairs, run to the kitchen, and there was a dresser and a table had been moved in front of the stairwell.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That takes some serious effort.
Serious power. So...
Or anger.
That was
super creepy.
Freaky. And then shortly after that, we had an enclosed back porch, and we decided to convert it into like a kitchen nook. Mm-hmm. So, it was outside of the house. So we had like just a dirt floor underneath the porch,
Right. What makes something a
whatever.
nook?
Yeah. So we basically we took out the door, because normally you could go through it and go to the outside. Well, we closed it off, and so it was like just a little booth that went around a kitchen table.
Okay. Nothing makes a spirit more restless than a nook,
But so we tear the floor up because we had to like level the floor out, and because it was on a slant because it had been outside, so for the rain to run off. So we level out the floor joists or whatever you call them, and we had a piece of plywood sitting on top of it, just sitting there because we weren't ready to secure anything.
Just something to walk on, yeah.
Well, we got in a big fight, and I was sleeping on the couch, and I wake up to this like crazy loud banging. And I look over, and I had 2 beagle dogs at the time, and they're both sitting, like, cowering against my front door, staring through the back of the kitchen, and they're just sitting there, and they're just shaking, like, terrified. And so I get up, and I look back there, and that piece of plywood is flopping up and down.
That's an angry spirit.
So I ran upstairs, and I'm like, dude, you get down here now. Like, we gotta screw this down.
Did he see it too?
Yeah.
How did he react when he saw it?
Terror. We were just terrified.
Yeah.
Like, what do we do? Like,
did you wait for it to stop, or did you just like go stand on it and then screw it down?
We waited for it to stop, and it did stop. Like, once we started like going back there towards it, it stopped. And that was even freakier, right?
Right. Yeah, because then you're like,
because then
where
I'm
is
like,
it?
okay, something is controlling this. Yeah. So we screwed it down, and
That would. I don't think I could. I don't think I would have screwed it down. I think I would have left at that point.
yeah, that probably would have been a smart thing to do.
So when the music turned on really loud, because I know your ex-husband, was it anything decent? Like I imagine there's like Kraftwerk
So this
playing
is
or
the
something.
no. This is the really creepy thing.
Yeah.
This is the really creepy thing. This was in the we had CDs. We had a carousel CD player that was fully loaded, and it picked a CD that was in the middle of the carousel.
Milli Vanilli?
Pentagram is the name of the band. After the renovations were complete, things kind of seemed to slow down a little bit. I'd catch glimpses of things here and there, nothing crazy. I did have a girlfriend stay the night one night, and she was another person who was really sensitive to things. And she had told me about some experience she had before. I don't know how much about the house I had told her, but anyway, we had a futon couch, and we set her up to sleep on it. And in the middle of the night, I feel her tapping on my shoulder, and she's like,
Hey, can I sleep on the couch instead?
and I'm like, what's up? And she goes,
There's a creepy old farmer down there.
she's like,
I felt something in the bed next to me. I rolled over. There he was. A guy. A creepy old dirty guy with a big dirty beard, overalls. I don't want anything to do with that.
so, yeah.
Sleep, just like ghost sleeping.
Yeah, just,
Or like-
laying there
or like,
looking at her.
Howdy, neighbor.
Laying there looking at her.
Oh,
So
that's
even
extra creepy.
Yeah, yeah.
Aren't you fine today?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I don't want you sleeping down there with that guy. But I'm like, oh my God, is that the guy who's been staring at me when I'm doing my laundry?
Or they got mad and threw the plywood around. Or...
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
He has not moved on.
So, what did you think of Erica? What did you think of those experiences?
That was kind of freaky. I mean, the whole pebble thing and the plywood and
the music.
Yeah, I mean, now her friend, I didn't mean to scare her. Those were my best Farmer Johns I was wearing that night, and I wasn't really just looking at her. I was sleepy. I had to find some place to curl up and sleep.
You're a little transparent.
Well, I wasn't married at the time, but I thought,
you look real, real good.
No, did Erica have any other stories? Or
She has a few more. I'm hoping we can fit them into another future episode.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
that sounds great. And
we just don't want our coffee hour to go for an hour.
No, it is not a coffee hour.
It just sounds better. It's marketing, people.
I know that part of it was country fairish or something.
Oh yeah. We'll get into that in a future episode. We want to talk about maybe some of the stolen lands that are close to here.
Oh, the Kalapuya lands that have been.
That's it. Exactly where the Oregon Country Fair takes place on. Yeah.
Oh, and some of the massacres that happen and whatnot.
Yes. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. No, that would be good. And the country fair people, they're interesting. I know I have some friends that go there and paint themselves silver, and I've seen probably more of their bodies than their husbands would like me to have seen, but I don't know. Some people are into that.
Well, man, it's all good.
I've never actually been to the country fair. I've lived here my whole life.
What? I haven't either. I used to live right near it, like I don't know, 2 miles away, maybe something
I could
like
smell
that.
it,
and I never went. I should have gone. It has a lot of different artisans and stuff.
Yeah.
It should be really interesting. We should try to go this year.
This year, you want to go to the country
Why
fair?
not? Let's do it.
I am retired now.
We could sneak in our podcasting equipment.
Oh, that would be cool. Maybe we could interview some people.
And interview some people.
That would be good.
All right.
All right.
This
So
is
if
a
you're
goal.
a country fair listener,
tell us how to do it.
Tell us some stories.
Help us out. Yeah.
So that's about it.
Yeah.
That's all the time we have for today. Stay curious and don't forget to peek behind the curtain.
Remember, the world is stranger than you think, and the truth is often found in the shadows.
And until next time, keep your coffee strong and your mind open. Very open.
Thanks for listening. Join us next time for more uncanny chats and coffee and tea. You can find out more about us, read show notes, and get your uncanny merch at www.uncannycoffeepodcast.com. Until next time, remember,
never whistle at night.
The best ice is crushed ice.
And above all else, remember,
We
are not all monsters. Thanks to all of our listeners out there.
Uncanny Coffee Hour is produced by
Bob Masson.
and Mitch Kyoto Kitsune.
Executive producer, Gracie the Wonder Dog.
Uncanny Coffee Hour is copyright protected by all laws, foreign, domestic, and ubernatural by the Unseelie Court.
A lot of boobs. A lot of boobs. And
Where is this and when is it happening again? Not for me, just so I can warn people.